In this demonstration, we'll determine how Sunset Valley buildings and parcels are impacted by the floodplain using vector overlay analysis. Our goal in this demonstration, in this intermediate GIS course, and as a GIS professional, is to do more than just visualize our spatial analysis. We want to quantify it as well. So we'll locate the number of buildings intersected by the floodplain, code the number of parcels intersected by the floodplain, and identify the parcel acreage intersected by the floodplain. Our first step is to set up the demo. You'll open a new ArcGIS Pro map named demo_2-2 project, connect to the intermediate demo data geodatabase, and add the buildings, city limits, floodplains, parcels, and streams from the Sunset Valley feature dataset. Then you'll symbolize, reorder the layers, and confirm the coordinate system. We'll start in Windows Desktop, where I'll open up ArcGIS Pro. Now, I normally click on the Windows button and then search for ArcGIS Pro, but that's a lot of clicks. If I right-click the ArcGIS Pro icon, I can select Pin to Taskbar. That pins the icon to the taskbar, and I can just click on it there, reducing the number of clicks to open up ArcGIS Pro. And anytime we can reduce the number of clicks, we're improving our proficiency. In the ArcGIS Pro splash screen under New Project, I'm going to click Map, and in the New Project window, from the bottom to the top, I'm going to make sure Create a Folder is enabled. Click on the Browse button and browse to the demo folder location in my Intermediate GIS course folder. And I'm also going to rename my project as demo_2-2 and click OK. Once my project loads, I'm going to go ahead and maximize my window. Now I've created a new project file geodatabase, but it's empty. I need to add some data. So I'm going to right click on databases and select Add Database. And in the Select Existing Geodatabase window, I'm going to browse to my course folder. And in my course folder, the demo data folder, and select my intermediate demo data geodatabase and add it. When I expand it and then expand the Sunset Valley feature dataset, you'll see the feature classes that we're going to be using for this demo. And I can select multiple feature classes by selecting my first one, buildings, then pressing down the control key and selecting city limits, floodplain, parcels, and streams. Now I'm going to right click on my selection and click on Add to Current Map. And that adds all of the feature classes as feature layers in my contents pane with fewer clicks. Go ahead and right click the city limits feature layer and zoom to layer. Now let's update the symbology. We'll start with the streams. I'm going to click on the symbol patch and the properties panel, and using cartographic conventions, switch the color to blue for water or streams. I'm going to update the parcels by clicking on the symbol patch. Set the fill color to no color. And reduce the symbology on the visual hierarchy by changing the outline width to 0.2. So push it towards the background. Click on the floodplain symbology patch, and of course, make it a light blue with no outline. The city limits. Set the fill color to no color. And now I want to raise the city limits on the visual hierarchy, so I'm going to change the outline width to 1.5. And then last, the buildings. And for the buildings, I'm going to set the fill color to a light gray. And the outline color to no color. Continue to improve my visual hierarchy by turning the base map off. And now I want to reorder my layers. Drawing from the bottom to the top, I want to move city limits and buildings to the top so they draw last in the drawing order. All right, that looks a lot better. Also want to check my coordinate system, so I'm going to right click on my map view and select properties. And under coordinate systems, I want to confirm that my coordinate systems is set to NAT 83 State Plane, Texas Central. Go ahead and click OK. Save your ArcGIS Pro project. In step 2, we'll locate buildings intersected by the floodplain using vector overlay analysis. First, we'll use select by location to select buildings that are intersected by the floodplain. Then, we'll export those selected features to a new feature class called buildings_impacted. Last, we'll rename the outputted feature layer along with the quantified number of buildings impacted and update the symbology. Back in ArcGIS Pro, I'll activate the map ribbon. And then in the selection group, I'm going to click on Select by Location, which opens the Select by Location window. The input features are the features I want to select. I'm going to set that to buildings. The spatial relationship, you can see there's a bunch of different spatial relationships. I'm going to select the very top one, Intersect. And the selecting features, the thing that is going to select the buildings. In this case, it's floodplain. I'm going to leave everything set to the default settings, including the selection type to New Selection, and click OK. That selects 127 features, or 127 buildings. And if I click the button in the lower right of the map view, you can see it zooms in on my selected features. And if I zoom in on this portion of Sunset Valley, we can test the logic. All the buildings that are intersected by the floodplain are selected. All right, I'm going to go ahead and reset my map view and then change the contents to the list by selection panel. And you can see 127 buildings are selected. I'm going to right click that layer and select Data, Export Features. In the Export Features pane, the input features, the thing I'm going to export are the selected features from the buildings. And my output feature classes, I'm going to save in my project geodatabase as buildings_impacted. Go ahead and click OK. And this creates a new feature class in my project geodatabase, as well as loads the feature layer in my contents pane. So there you can see it listed in my drawing order panel. Now I'm going to rename the buildings_impacted as buildings space impacted, space, open parentheses, 127, close parentheses. So the number of buildings impacted. And update the symbology by clicking on the symbology patch and switching the color to red. All right, I'm going to reset my map view, save my ArcGIS Pro project,